Thank you. Time is already ticking away, so I'm going to get started. So cool to be here, but even cooler to be on stage, not only with Nina Hastie, I can't believe I'm sharing the stage with that incredible woman, but also these incredible urbanists. And we're going to hear a little bit about their stories now. So as just shared earlier, I'm from the Wellbeing Economy Alliance, but actually the work that I'm really rooted in is in my community in Johannesburg. It is a community called Makers Valley, and it is in the eastern outskirts of Johannesburg's CBD. A very complicated, mixed community. 60% of that community are non-South African, but it is so rich with culture, diversity, creativity, and memory. And that is the theme that we're going to be tapping into today, tapping into their memories, but the stories of the people that they have engaged with in their journeys of urbanism. So without further ado, I want to welcome this panel and give you a brief intro into who they all are. We have Jonathan Rose, who is an architect and director of master planning at Pryor and Partners in London. He brings memory of place and well-being through his work in Bhutan and across the UK. We also have Dr. May East, who's an urbanist and pioneer in regenerative design. She reminds us of the overlooked people in cities, especially the voices of women. And then we also have Prof. Marco Casagrande, who's a Finnish architect and theorist, and his vision of cities is as a living energy organism. And he invites us to listen to forgotten instincts of human dwelling and ecological humility. And then we have Selva Gürdoğan. Am I saying that right? Designer, educator, and urban imagination catalyst. She opens the city up to the creative, playful memory of children. So let's get into this discussion because we want to hear from them. I feel like a child myself amongst elders who have so much wisdom to share. So let's start with you, Jonathan. You have been journeying through Bhutan, but specifically working in the space of memory and reverence and culture. And we want to get an understanding of how that has shaped the way that you design, but not from a place of power, of dominance, more to, I think we heard yesterday, moving to a place of devotion, of reverence. How do you bring that into urban design in Bhutan and across the UK?
Fantastic. So thanks so much to Billy, and it's wonderful to be here. And as we all know, cities are complex systems, but they are systems of our own making. We form them. And they're changing continuously. We feel their change, and that's for better, but often for worse as well. And that causes damage. It causes damage to nature and suffering in people. And uncertainty within communities. So that's, change is not always a good thing, and it's difficult to really grapple with. So, as you say, I've been working with the Royal Government of Bhutan in their capital city of Thimphu, which is a compact linear city. So imagine a place which is in high altitude, has a forest setting in the eastern Himalayan mountains. But it's a beautiful place, and it's a place where Buddhist practice and insight are deeply integrated within society. So I think probably everybody's heard of Bhutan, and particularly GNH, Gross National Happiness. That's where 50 years ago, a small nation set out an alternative vision for what they wanted from modernization, determined not to be measured only by economic outcomes, but particularly or economic development, GDP, but they resolved to embed human well-being and indeed reverence for nature within the heart of their future. So having said that, Thimphu, this small capital city before COVID, was one of the fastest growing cities in the world. It trebled its population in 15 years, an astonishing rate of change, and a, really kind of traumatic experience for people involved. So, and that was driven, what was it driven by? It was driven by internal migration within Bhutan. So people moving from rural community-based ways of life as people sought livelihood and different kinds of opportunities within this newly monetized economy. And rapid growth, of course, has brought benefit for some, but it's at a cost, with damage to the natural systems that support the city, creating all the usual problems of accelerated urbanization. That's lack of affordability, social alienation, and a loss of connection, even identity. So somehow this dream city for all Bhutanese just wasn't living up to the vision and aspiration of GNH. So we were really delighted and privileged to be invited to help, to work in partnership with government, civil society organizations, and communities to develop a new structure plan for their city, essentially a guiding framework for government and private investment to direct that well, and very importantly for community action, focusing good growth in the right places. So it's doing all the right things you'd expect it to do. Projects which prioritize pedestrian, active movement over cars, new opportunities for affordable housing built well for all ages and all households. Embedding infrastructure systems supporting healthier, more connected lives. The whole effort has been a really unique learning experience for everyone involved. Personally, one of the most challenging and creative, in my experience, changing the way we work. For example, we invited the wonderful Kate Rayworth and the team at Donut Economics to help develop and set the vision, putting GNH within the donut, refreshing both GNH for the future, but also deepening Kate's appreciation of how we measure well-being and the outcomes associated with it. So at the heart of the effort is a way in which we try and find human urban development can work in better balance with nature. Clearing out stream courses, forming a series of connected river parks to define the city for everyone to enjoy. And we reimagined the city, Thobile, together before human settlement had overwhelmed the valley, where intuitive, well-trodden paths joined sacred places together within a deeper spiritual landscape. Even for the young people involved in all of this was a process of remembering, revealing and then prioritizing ways in which to live in better balance with nature, but also with one another, creating protections around places of refuge and of safety within this busy, complicated urban life of our own making. So what does all this mean? I would say that it's in understanding this very changeable nature of cities that we hold the keys to transformation. If we bring our humility and a patient determination, we really can achieve positive, regenerative change. And there's a wonderful teaching going on to the point about power, indeed from the female protector of the city, that if we bring power and knowledge, but it's rooted in compassion, we really are able to achieve benefit for all living beings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's give him a round of applause.
Do you mind if I stand up when I speak?
Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Jonathan. Absolutely incredible. Just thinking about how cities can serve life, can serve the flourishing of both people and its environment. And there's many layers to this memory, I think, from urban design, but also to the people within the city, the memories that they hold and contribute to the thinking of development going forward. And I want to come to May, Dr. May East, who specializes in nature-positive and gender-sensitive cities. And her doctoral work meant that she was literally walking with women across the world to really think about the question, what if women designed cities? So I'm going to hand over to May to give us that story.
So I have to walk in order to talk, because that's how my ideas come. Yes, so if we cannot imagine the future we want to create, we're never going to get there. So that is at the core of addressing this question, what if women designed a city? But before we address this question, we make one collective decision and reaffirm two awarenesses that I believe are present, are alive in this room. The decision is about not using a node map to explore a new territory. What does it mean? It means that despite the fact that cities have been designed and built, particularly cities after the two wars in Europe, using an able-bodied male person as a reference, we do not hold a zero-sum universe perspective here. We're not talking about winners and losers. We're talking about a new map of co-evolving mutualism where women and cities are implicated in the construction of one another towards cities that work for all. The first awareness is about direction of travel. We know that sustainability is no longer enough. How can we sustainably bring back something that we have already lost? So here, we adopt a regenerative direction of travel. What does it mean? It means that we see us bringing more life, more vitality, more viability to the places that we live, love, and learn, so that human systems can start co-evolving with ecological systems over time in our cities. When we work regeneratively, we start pursuing lifelines and let go of deadlines. The second awareness is regarding mindset, is regarding worldview. We know we're facing this convergence of multiple crises that are accelerated in the cities that cover only 4% of the surface of the planet. However, we let go of a problem-solving mindset, of solving one problem at a time. Like many of us spend our lives into managing failing systems, the entropy of failing systems. Here, instead, we adopt the notion of potential. Potential grounded in the biocultural, spatial uniqueness of place. There's always more potential in a territory than has been realized. Potential looks forward, problem solving backward. So with this in mind, we start exploring, and I have walked with women from both global north and south, walking their neighborhoods and asking, what if? What is the potential? And if women design the city, safety will be prioritized. Active travel will be stimulated as a style of life. Departments of maintenance will be renamed to departments of care, and care will be capillarized, democratized by all those who live in the community. But there's something that is very connected to what Jonathan was saying and what we have been exploring here in Ljubljana, which is women believe of the importance of nurturing biophilia in cities. Biophilia, love for nature, love for life. A biophilic urban design connects all pockets of greens, gardens, balconies, parks, orchards, cemeteries, into natural corridors. So for wilderness returning, but also for residents of all ages, to nurture love for living things and for living things to move freely through urban landscapes. Women believe that if children nurture enchantment, biophilia in nature in the early years, this will reduce disruptive behaviors in adolescence, and also the desire to control and explore nature in adulthood. So, from now until the end of the century, majority of children will be born in cities. The great challenge of us city shapers will be, how can we design cities that can awaken the sense of enchantment for the natural world? Thank you.
Incredible. Amazing. just extraordinary. And it really links to the work that Marco is involved in because of the fact that he sees cities as living organisms, but also really looks at small levers of change that can take place. And I think coming from a city like Johannesburg, which has a multitude of issues, it really sometimes feels difficult to know where to start with shaping a city. So I want to come to you, Marco, to tell us how do you use this word urban acupuncture, and what does that mean in story and in the journeys that you've been in your community?
Okay, yeah. So, hello, my name is Marco. I come from very North Finland, basically like a Arctic. So we don't have any cities, and city is a very alien concept for me. And I don't really like cities. But I ended up working in places like Tokyo, and then at some point while I was in Tokyo, so they invited me to Taipei, the capital of Taiwan, great country. And I was very fascinated about Taipei because like Tokyo is like a capital of order, and Taipei was like capital of mess. And I like this mess, the organic mess. And I wanted to work with that, and then I negotiated with the city government, and they give me a chance to make some outlines for urban ecological restoration. And but then the manuals, what I get from the city, was like totally technical, let's say like a manual of a Volkswagen Golf, like a machine. And there was no night markets, no underbridge gambling places, no local gods, no anarchist grandmother. I felt like, I cannot work with this. And then I was taken to one unofficial settlement called Treasure Hill, 400 households, more or less. And the same city government that invited me there was destroying it because it's illegal. But it's been there for, 60 years, 70 years. And so they managed to bulldoze the first 2 layers of this terraced settlement. But then the bulldozers could not get higher. There is no street inside. So what they did is to cut down the nervous network of this urban organism, meaning bridges and steps, terraces, pathways, connecting the different houses together to become an organism. And then they left these now single houses just to slowly rotten and die. So in a way, urban warfare. And so I get a little bit angry, and then I start to research this unofficial settlement, Treasure Hill, and I found out that this is ecologically much more sustainable than the surrounding industrial city. They were recycling all their grey waters with the patches of jungle, root cleansing, oxygenizing it, using it again for the farms. Total community gardens, urban farms everywhere. They were stealing electricity and water from the city, but not too much. So pipes are leaking anyhow. And then when you have little, so you use it more carefully, and so on. And very strong community feeling, matriarchal, run by an anarchist grandmother called Mrs. Chen, 86-year-old. Even put a radio system to call the old gentleman to see black and white Kuomintang movies in the night. So total systems. And this was being destroyed. So then I wanted to start fighting back together with this Treasure Hill against the official city. So first what I was doing was to restart the farms. But I come from Finland, so my farm is more like, let's say, planting potatoes. And this is tropic. So then this Mrs. Chen come and start bitching on me. And there's a student translating, and it's what's going on? And the students say that Mrs. Chen say, your farm is no good. That when the typhoon comes, you get flushed away. So then I asked, how can I build a farm for the typhoon? And then she explained how to make these ditches for the storm waters and so on. And same time, the village is watching that Mrs. Chen is talking to me, the old grandmother. Okay, so then I start making this farm as she told, and then after a couple of hours she come back to see can I do it or not? And it's like hot sun, not like Finland. And so then she's bringing me this pink bowl of rice porridge with a lot of sugar and herbs inside, cold, that is supposed to cool me, so that I can continue working with this hot sun. And then this audience of the village is watching that, oh, Mrs. Chen is bringing me food. And that was the sign. I don't speak any Chinese. I speak food. So so then all the people come down, that I've been kind of accepted by Mrs. Chen. And then we restarted the farms. Then we did, and they became fine. These are professional guys. And then I needed a lot of construction material very fast to make these bridges and the nervous network back. So then from a neighboring bridge construction site, the construction workers agreed to steal material for us. So wood and bamboo, what you use for concrete molds. So offloading and continuing. So then we have material and we can build these bridges and so on. Need manpower, so I went to local universities, recruit students, in the end 200 students and professors. And because of that, rumors start going in the city. The students tell home what they are doing. And rumors is a very big thing. You can design whole cities with rumors. And yes.
Great.
So I found out that this became urban acupuncture point in Taipei. And energy was these rumors, or empathy. The rumors would otherwise not go. And so more and more people start volunteering. And suddenly, same guys, same politicians, which 3 weeks before was destroying this place, were suddenly reciting poems. And on our construction site. And Mayor mine, Joe, was casually jogging with all the TV cameras following. And okay. And Commissioner Liao said that, well, Marco, this is exactly why we invited you from Finland. And total bullshit. But anyhow, New York Times fly in, and then they write story. This is a must-see destination in Taiwan. So then the politicians were totally cornered, and then they had to make this assignment that, this is a legal settlement. And so...
You gotta stand up.
Very fast. So what I found out in Treasure Hill, it's like an enclave of the first generation city, the nature-based city because of nature. Second generation city is the patriarchal industrial city, which is the source of pollution, where we live now. Third generation city is some kind of learning process how the industrial city becomes an organic machine. Some kind of ruin of the industrial city, something where man-made has become part of nature again. And there we need memory, and there we need the anarchist grandmother.
Thank you, Marco.
Well done.
Amazing. I think all of us have one of those grandmothers in our communities. We sure do in Makers Valley. But moving along from grandmothers to children and child-sensitive cities, I'm going to hand over straight to Selva, who really works in Istanbul and also across the world for child-designed cities.
So hello everyone, tough act to follow, but I'm going to appeal to the anarchist inside of you in a second. But first of all, I work on a program that is globally launched in 2017 called Urban 95. Urban 95 asks decision makers, designers, city officials, what would you change if you looked at the city from 95 centimeters, the height of a healthy 3-year-old? So that's a very simple question that kind of motivates a lot of people to engage with a concept of how do we make cities better for children? Again, we heard earlier, if we make it better for women, it's better for everybody. If we make it better for nature, it's better for everybody. Similarly, if we make it for children, it's better for everyone. And in that, we work with city officials. So these people, are a part of the bureaucratic machine, right? So they are not necessarily able to imagine because they have been in such kind of fixed roles in their lives and in their careers. So one thing that we do with them, and usually when you say city and children, the first thing they recognize is, okay, city children, we need playgrounds. So that's usually the entry point. But then when we enter there, we do a little exercise with them that I hope we can do together now. So I would like to ask you to kind of close your eyes, and we've done this quite a few times, closing our eyes today, but again, if you could just go to a place where you were playing as a child. If you could kind of remember a memory of play. Take a note of where you are, who is with you, what are you doing. These memories are very precious, I know, but I'll ask you to slowly come back to the room. How many of you were outside? Yes. Always, wherever you ask this question, 90% of the room is outside. How many of you had any adults around you? Let's see, 5%. Very typical. And how many of you were doing something slightly naughty? Right. So we do this exercise, and we actually ask adults to play after doing this, because it's very important that we remember those memories, that play is actually nothing very complex. It doesn't require equipment. It doesn't require anything expensive. What it requires is that we provide space, time, and permission to play. And I hope you do give that to yourselves as well. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you. I mean, those were really short snippets of just incredible wisdom, and I really encourage you to take the time to engage with them. If something sparked your imagination, to meet with them after this session, because they have so much more to share. But I do want to say a huge thank you. They've taken us on this journey of memory, from recognizing ancient spiritual wisdom and how that can contribute to the way that we revere our cities and stop really thinking from dominance point of view, but to a place of devotion, as we heard yesterday. Then going into the role of women and actually overlooked voices. How can they contribute to the way that they think cities should be designed? So from women to grandmothers like Mrs. Chen, find Marco afterwards and ask him for a picture of what she looks like, because it is incredible. And yeah, think about who those people are in your communities. You might not be able to tackle the whole mess of your community or your city, but look for those acupuncture points, those points of change, those points where you can bring ecological belonging, those points where you can get skin to skin with a city. And I think I'll leave on a note, in South Africa or in Nguni practices, we have a practice when you give birth, you remove the umbilical cord, of course, and that is buried into the ground. That burying is called ingaba. It's basically the umbilical cord going into the ground, but to connect that child to place. It's a symbolic act, but it is so meaningful because it connects that child to say, you belong to this earth. You are part of this earth, but it is part of you. And so I want to leave you with that today. What are you going to bury? What are you going to bring forth and ignite in your communities in that one single point? It might be small, but it can make a powerful difference. So yeah, we're going to end it there, but thank you so, so much. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
You want to take all of them?
Yeah, thank you.